Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John Gray, and we're just plain living here.
I'm Peggy Burton. I'm just
Yes, you
barely
are.
plain living. I'm loving that tie.
Thank you. Well, I had to do something to where I matched these flowers just a little bit.
Yeah, I love the yellow sunflowers.
Aren't they pretty?
They're beautiful.
Aren't they pretty? I just love them. It's the time of year
Probably my favorite of all the flowers.
That's a transition from summer into the fall stuff. A lot of the fall flowers that people put in their baskets and stuff hadn't really. They're out in front of the flower places, like the shop down there at the bottom of Lincoln Street.
Isn't it funny how we just woke up and it was almost fall?
Yeah.
It had a feeling of fall in the air.
Right,
all of a sudden, leaves are in the pool, and I wondered what happened to summer. It's not really over, is it?
No, we'll have Indian summer and buffalo summer and avocado summer and
I hope so. Yeah.
all kinds of summers before it's all done.
I always hate to say goodbye to summer.
Well, when you're naked and you're still hot, there's not a whole lot you can do. But when it gets cold, you can just keep putting clothes on till you get warm.
Well, that's true. That's true.
But when you're naked and hot, there ain't a whole lot you can do except go to Rutledge Falls and jump in or a creek where it's a shady bank.
I know. I used to do that.
Wasn't it fun?
We lived on a creek, and in the summer we took our baths. We went swimming. We had all kind of fun in the creek.
We had some cousins come in from South Louisiana one time, and we took them over to the river down on the old Shelbyville, or like you headed down to Bell Buckle.
Oh, I know that.
Down in that path, you go through Normandy, and before you get to War Trace, the river bridge down there.
Yes.
A lot of people kayak down there now.
Oh, they do?
Oh, yeah. And there was a place down there with a cable somebody had hung on the river where you could swing and drop in the river, except you had to swing so far. There was a shelf that went out where the water wasn't knee deep.
And you better not miss that.
And then in the middle it was deep enough to jump in.
You had to make sure you got
Well, this
all the
old
way
cousin, we told him that, and he slid off the rope too quick and went head first.
My gosh.
And stuck up in the mud.
Oh, it didn't kill him?
I didn't kill him. It didn't break anything. His legs were sticking up out of the water, and his head was in the mud. We had to pull him up out of the mud. We had to go home after that, though. He was banged up a little bit, but he wasn't hurt bad. That's his little brother, Frankie. I was just telling him this morning about how people, particularly young people, little people, children do stuff that's so funny, and we laugh at what they do. They had come to visit, and my dad was always the first one up at the house. And he went in to make coffee, and Frankie's sitting on the kitchen counter naked. So you never know what these little kids are going to do.
Little boys. I know it's the summer that my son was with my father on the farm. He was 3, and we lived in Texas, and we couldn't just run and get him in a week. It was 6 weeks before we picked him up, so he lived the farm life and was happy as a lark.
Oh, yeah.
But when he got back to Texas, we had a neighbor that had 3 cute little girls, and they were stair steps. He thought he had been used to just going to the bathroom outside.
Wherever he wanted.
He'd water the flowers whenever he felt like it. And they screamed, they hollered, and I thought, oh my gosh, he's killed one of those little girls. But he was a tiny little thing. I shouldn't have told that.
No, I mean, but it's funny. That's what kids do. I can remember my Uncle Clark. I asked where Bubby was one time, and Bubby was one of the younger cousins, and Uncle Clark said, "Oh, he's behind the door making rocks." He'd go over there, and squat down, and go to the bathroom, making rocks. So it's crazy.
People.
Those people in South Louisiana live the type of laid back lifestyle like most people don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Particularly farm people.
Well, I was raised on a farm
Yeah.
where my parents went to work every day and worked all night and all day, and we were there, my sister and I, on the farm, and doing whatever little kids do, and we survived.
Yeah.
We learned to fix our own breakfast and stuff like that, and people could bear learning that today.
Oh, yes.
There's so many people that don't know how to do anything. Too bad.
I saw a cartoon, not a cartoon, a commercial just a minute ago I was watching, and it showed McDonald's, and it was showing some of the real old McDonald's commercials about breakfast, you know, and eating favorite things at McDonald's, and it showed a burrito or something where you can buy one and get one free, and I'm thinking, you know, people just don't cook breakfast at home anymore.
No. I
There's
do.
too many places.
But I do.
Well, we do too. We do too, like on Saturday or something like that. But we don't cook breakfast every morning. I'm sure at your house, when you were growing up on the farm, there was breakfast. Your mama made breakfast every morning.
With gravy and biscuits and
sausage
honey and molasses and
when you were through, did the butter go in the refrigerator or did the butter stay on the table on a plate?
Seems like it did stay on the table, and that's
Had a cover, had a little cover
I know
on
my
it.
grandmother would put a cover over stuff on the table.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure my mother did.
But there was,
that.
if there were extra biscuits and
Yeah,
butter and
then
stuff,
you could
they
grab one,
they just stayed there because you never knew when somebody, particularly if you were a farm person, you know, you had to come to the house for something, and it was there wasn't a convenience store to go get a Coke and cake.
Well,
you went in the house and picked up a biscuit and
I thought people that
extra cup of coffee or something.
we had to take our lunch to school, and I thought people that came to school with a sandwich made out of loaf bread, I thought they were rich, because mine was a biscuit and sausage, you know, something like that.
Or potato.
Maybe.
Fried potatoes. I know Mama
But,
she'd flat fry potatoes and onions for breakfast. And you know, she'd take those potatoes and put them on a biscuit and wrap it up and send you off. Pretty
Yeah,
good.
sure,
Fried
it
potatoes and a
tastes
biscuit's
good,
good stuff.
None of us starved. You can tell we're looking.
People don't know, you know, they just don't know. I'll tell you what, about the only place around here I know of you can get flat fried potatoes like that is Daddy Billy's has a flat fried potato.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah, as a side item. Now, they have regular French
when
fries.
You say flat
They're round. They're round
flat
instead of
fried.
French. You know,
Yeah.
Mama would cut them up
yeah, my
in
mother did
circles
too.
and throw some onions and bacon grease.
Right. And that was good.
And put them in there and saute all that
Now,
together.
why is it that bacon grease, all my relatives, many of them survived till they were 100 or 101, and they ate bacon grease and lard and you
Everything.
name it. Everything.
Everything.
Why is it? I think
Because they
it's-
worked.
It's, well, they
We
were,
don't work. We don't
and
physically work
they planted
now.
it. They planted it on their property, and
Well, you don't plant bacon.
well, I know
Bacon grease is bacon grease, but the thing about it is they didn't go to an office and sit all day long. They were
Right.
up and moving and
all
doing
day
physical
long.
things
You're
all
right.
day long.
But they did eat.
So that grease,
all
they burnt through that grease pretty quick.
Then-
Oh, Lordy.
Oh, my
I
gosh.
told the girls over here this morning, we were talking about curly hair and how great it is for people. You know, now curly hair is a big deal. It's a great thing to have. 5 years ago, everybody's wanting to straighten their hair. I mean,
know,
it's what's in
always
style.
something. It's always
But, you know,
something.
all you have to do is be you.
And that's
You know?
so important.
It's very important for you to be you.
Sometimes it's hard for me to be me.
So this is something I wrote the other morning. You know, and with the coronavirus and the people social distancing by staying in their house, quarantined a lot of folks. It's become, for a lot of people, I know it has been for me, a very introspective
It
time.
has. You're right.
You have an opportunity to look through your closet and go, what in the world have I got all of
Why
this
did I keep this?
junk for? You also have an opportunity to look at your life and look at you and how you miss people and how maybe you weren't as good a people as you needed to be, or maybe you were real good people.
Right.
You know?
I
But
think
it's
we can
given us a lot of
always
time to
speculate about that.
reflect. And so
is this a reflection from
this
you?
is a reflection. I wake up every morning to a brand new day, awaiting the adventures I find on my way. Some joys I hold on to, some chores to be done, all cradled or conquered before the setting sun. And all I have to do is be me. Use what I was given to shine for all to see. Strive to live life the best it can be. And all I have to do is be me. I'll never get all I want, but I'll get all I need. I know the wishes of the world will never set me free. Because I'll never be good enough dancing on their limb if I'm not already good enough without them. And all I have to do is be me, use what I've been given to shine for all to see, strive to live the life the best it can be. All I have to do is be me. Best save your breath. I don't need your advice. The road to my dreams is worth the sacrifice. And all of your rules are really of no help. So take that lecture meant for me and keep it to yourself.
I like it.
Because all I have to do is be me. Use what I've been given to shine for all to see. Strive to live life the best that it can be. Because all I have to be is me.
We're all on a journey to ourselves, I think, as life goes by. And I haven't got there yet.
Well, but the whole deal is don't depend on someone else to dictate your happiness.
I agree with that. Absolutely.
Because all you have to do to be happy is be you. And, it's sort of like until you love yourself, you can't love anybody else.
That's a big one right there. That is a big one.
You can't carry your garbage and stack it up on somebody else.
That's true. And
hey,
it's important.
I love you.
I love you too.
All right. And we love Tullahoma Wildcats, and we don't want you to know before we close this section that this week is the Coffee Pot Week. Coffee County is coming to Tullahoma. This will be our second home game. We beat Shelbyville pretty well last weekend, which was a good game, and Coffee County will be here, and we want to keep that coffee pot, and that's a big money game. Both of them are, but realize the seats in the stadium, there's only about a third of the stadium full.
That's sold.
Well, it's full, and there's plenty of seats to social distance. A lot of people aren't coming because they think, it's going to be a big crowd. There's room. There's room.
Right, but do they just social distance?
There's certain seats that are blocked off, just like we did the country show. And the visiting team is only allowed 500 seats.
Okay.
Not just in Tullahoma, everywhere in the state.
Everywhere in the state.
So,
regardless of the size of the stadium? Looks like that would be...
Doesn't make any difference, I don't think.
Okay.
They had to do something, so they just said 500 tickets.
They said 500 tickets, so if you only...
All I'm saying is because usually Manchester, there'll be 2,000 Manchester people here.
Oh, that'll be a huge one.
And there won't be. There'll be 500. And so there's plenty of seats to come watch your Wildcats play football. So
I'm just glad they're playing.
They're playing.
I'm sure that the players are happy and the coaches are ready to get
Everybody's
out there.
happy. And the sports fanatics are absolutely fanatic.
Always have been.
Always have been, always will be. We'll be right back after these messages.
Ah, the glory days. Running to daylight on the gridiron and chasing a ball with a mind of its own. Cheering the team to victory and marching to the beat of your own drum. Memories that last a lifetime. But sometimes we're reminded of our glory days in ways we'd rather forget. Get back in the game.
The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live and play well.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
Hello everyone, Governor Bill Lee. The 2020 census is underway and more than 60% of Tennesseans have already been counted. I want to encourage every household that hasn't yet responded to the census to do so now. An accurate census will bring more of our federal tax dollars back to Tennessee communities to support services that we all like health care, education, roads, and so much more. Log on to 2020census.gov to answer some simple questions about the people living in your home. You can also respond by phone or mail in your questionnaire. It should only take a few minutes and can mean so much for your family and your community. Help shape the future of Tennessee. by responding to the 2020 census today.
It's not invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. Get to Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
All right, folks, we're back, in Tullahoma. First, last night we had a city board meeting, and Mayor Ray Noes was sworn in. Mayor Lane Curley had his last half a meeting as mayor of Tullahoma, and an outstanding job Lane's done. And Ray will have big shoes to fill, but we're looking forward to see what this next administration is going to do. But one of the things that has happened, it's been this way for a long time, but it's been stated, is Tullahoma is turned into an art destination. And Mayor Curley's worked very hard to with the Arts Council and different things going on. And one of the newest things happening in town to display the arts is at South Jackson Civic Center, where one of those 150-year-old oak trees was snapped in two by a windstorm, and the log was saved standing up, wasn't chopped, wasn't cut down and hauled off, and chainsaw sculptor Rourke Phillips from Fayetteville, Tennessee, has been the one commissioned to turn that into an art piece. And I have been going by for the last 3 or 4 days to check on his progress and had a pretty good little interview with him. And it changes every day. So go by South Jackson Civic Center and look. But here's an idea of what's going on. I took a bunch of video, and this is the tree art at South Jackson Civic Center.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is a tree out in front of South Jackson Civic Center that was topped a couple of years ago and left because some saw that there was a way to turn this into a piece of art. And what we have happening here today is there is a chainsaw artist here that is starting on this tree to turn it into a piece of art in front of South Jackson Civic Center. And you can see on the tree where he's made some markings. Looks like up at the top there might be a bird that's going to be up there. But just like any sculpting, you have to see what the material holds inside for you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm with Rourke Phillips, and he's from Lincoln County, and he's boots, chaps, and chainsaws right here. And he's the gentleman who's going to do the work on this tree. Rourke, what's your idea on what's going to happen with this tree here?
Well, we're going to take a lot of wood off of it. The very top part's going to be a conductor. It's performance arts theme. So anything to do with performance arts, musical instruments, the music staff, board, musical signs, a dancer. A female dancer, they are about as hard to carve as their mind is to understand at times. We're going to get there. So.
I guarantee you. How long have you been doing this kind of work, my friend?
Full-time 4 years and 14 total.
14 total. How many different types of saws are you going to think you'll probably end up using on this project?
Well, I'm on number 4 today and just barely got a good start, but yeah, I have several. I have a whole arsenal, but I grabbed the sharp one. That's one I'm looking for.
That's a good thing to do. Hey, the tree looks like it's in pretty good shape. I know they topped it and got it. It was broken down and got it out of here about 2 to 3 years ago, and it looks like what was left is still in good shape as far as being solid.
It is in excellent shape. Excellent. A little bit of steel. I can't carve steel too well, but yeah, that's in great shape. It's kind of roughly counted the rings of it, hit 150. Now you could probably go back and find a few more or a few less, but it's an old tree. Big tree, massive tree.
Big tree. And how long do you think it'll take you to fulfill your dream for this piece of wood?
Oh wow! Well, they're never done. You have to abandon it. So
You're a true artist then.
I'm going to push it to where I am happy, and hopefully the city will be too.
All right, sir. Well, we'll be back to see you as you go along with your project. Good luck, and thank you for adding this wonderful piece of art to our city, Tullahoma here, and the South Jackson Civic Center.
And thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. All right, there he is up in the air right now, working on the top. That, he told me, is going to be a conductor. With his hands up in the air, conducting music right up there on the top. And as you get close, you can see his legs marked out on the stump. So that's Rourke Phillips at South Jackson Civic Center. Stop on by. He's going to be working on this for several days until he brings it to fruition, and a great addition to the art side of Tullahoma. This will be something that will be out in front of the Civic Center, we hope, for a long time. Big old saw right there. Here she comes. It just sat down on him. There it went. It broke loose right there. There she goes. All right. Rourke Phillips. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back down at South Jackson, checking on the progress of Rourke Phillips and making this tree trunk into a beautiful piece of art. All right, Rourke is looking for the big pieces in this tree trunk. First, there's going to be a bass guitar right there. He's looking for the bigger pieces first, and of course he has the conductor up top, and it's not fine-tuned, it's just the rough part of it. But he's getting this tree down to the point that he can find the bigger pieces in it and find out where they're going to be, and then he will put the smaller pieces in around that. But he's done excellent for 2 days worth of work at South Jackson Civic Center. All right, this is Rourke Phillips here, and he's working on this, still working on this tree at South Jackson. He's putting the comedy and tragedy on the back side of this, and working it in there with a chainsaw. You can imagine. Look at that, isn't that great? Isn't that great? And then he's got a snare drum up top that the conductor's standing on, and on top of that a music book. So this thing is taking on a great persona. And of course there's the drum up there and a book of music or book of something that the conductor's standing on. There's your harp right there. And curtains are wrapping around the tree. And there's your bass fiddle right there. That'll be finished out in it. And I think that right there is a pair of ballet shoes hanging off of it. And here's the comedy face right here. Tragedy's on the other side. Being free-handed by Rourke Phillips from Fayetteville, Tennessee.
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family, caring for your family since 1932.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back. I'm so happy today to have with me Loretta and Amanda from Horseplay Incorporated, right?
Yes, ma'am.
On Highway 130. Am I right?
Yeah, we say Highway 130, but also
it's just
815 West Side Drive.
815?
815
West Side Drive. But anyway, it's just off of 130. And there's so much going on there now, and I'm so proud about it. We have to do fundraisers, and there's several different fundraisers happening today. So Loretta, start us off.
Well, the main thing right now that I'm working on is the barn dance. I'm getting donations, sponsors. We need sponsors very badly, and we've set up concessions for the dance. South Jackson Street Band is going to play our music.
Can I set this? Oh, never mind.
And
okay.
We're selling tickets. You can...
tickets are how much?
2 tickets are $25 a piece.
$25 a piece. It's happening in Lynchburg,
and
in the pavilion.
In the pavilion on September the 19th. Starts at 6, goes until 9:30. And a single ticket is $15. Children up to 14 is $8.
Oh,
and
wow.
Children 10 and under.
So it's a family
free.
Affair, right?
Uh-huh.
And South Jackson Street Band is so proud to be a part of this.
Yeah. And this year we're having pork barbecue plates.
Sounds
They're
good.
$10 a piece. And we're having pork barbecue sandwiches, hot
now, let
dogs.
me ask one question. Is the barbecue plate separate from the price?
Yes, ma'am. Everybody has to pay for their
So
own
if
meal.
you want, and do you have to make your reservation for that meal ahead of time?
Well, we're implementing safety precautions this
Okay.
year. We're measuring about 10 feet apart to put the tables. The tables will be numbered so that we can have a volunteer come
and serve
and get your order and bring it back to you. And those that don't want to do that, we're going to have it 6 feet apart in the line where you can go down and tell them what you want to eat.
Obviously you're practicing social distancing
Yes,
and
ma'am.
cleanliness all around, and I always tell people that are coming around me, if they would like, they can bring their own sanitizer, but we're going to have sanitizer on every table, I believe.
And we, since it's being outside, and we can't tell people that they need to wear a mask, but if you would rather wear a mask, do so. If you don't want to, like I said, we can't tell you to wear one, but we're going to be outside, and hopefully we'll.
There's plenty of space.
Yes, ma'am.
There's plenty of space to spread out. And you can get more information on horseplayincorporated.org, which is right there on the screen, so you can jot that down. That's September 19th on Saturday, starting
on Saturday,
at
it's starting at 6 and going until 9:30. And a lot of people have told me that yesterday that especially Miss Bonnie Lewis, the mayor of Lynchburg, that y'all's music last year inspired her, and she's been showing it to people. She made a video and she's been showing it to people.
Good. We had a good time.
Yes, and she's already bought her tickets and bought tickets as a gift.
And I noticed the picture of the Prince and Princess.
Oh yeah.
We have a new little Prince and Princess this year.
First time. We, Amanda, you know the children's names better than I do.
So our Prince and Princess this year is Demarius and Amelia. They have been with our program for a while, and they are wonderful.
They are.
Yes, they're just great ambassadors. They show, they're able to show what we really do for them as a program. So we're excited to have them to come out and to do little social events as we can, and to share their love for the program.
And if you're not familiar with horseplay, most people are, but if you're from another area, this is happening in Lynchburg, Tennessee, and horseplay services children with different needs, and they get to come there for free.
Yes.
That's why we need the money. This year you all have built bathrooms for them.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're starting to pave.
We're wanting to pave their parking area.
Which I love, and we're going to show the fundraiser for that parking lot, right?
No, this is a memorial brick.
Oh, the memorial brick.
Yeah.
That's okay, but isn't it going to be on the?
Well, that's going to be out at Horseplay as well, and we have. If anyone is familiar with Lynchburg, they've seen that gentleman drive the carriage around.
Yes.
He's going to drive our Prince and Princess that night around the square.
So they'll be all over the square and be noticed everywhere.
Yeah.
These bricks are $75 a piece. It's a wonderful donation. I don't know what it costs to put a brick together, but the money that's left from what it cost will go into horseplay.
Yes, ma'am. And this is like we're wanting to fix it in out there, and we're going to have to find a place that we can leave it at, and when we get enough brick, we're going to start putting them out, and we will put brick out, and every time we get bricks in, we will put them out there, but we will fill in with blank bricks.
Okay, and you will let people know when you're ready to maybe dedicate
Yes,
this. I think it's a wonderful thing. I had bought bricks to honor my son and his father that were military, and I was so excited to be able to do something for my daughter, because she's very special to me and she loves horses and loves animals.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great thing to do, to get money to this organization as well as to honor somebody you love. And this one, did we show this one? That's Susan Fingers, right?
Yeah, and Susan, this was Susan's idea.
She did a great job with this, and I think it's going to be a success.
And
let's don't forget the auction.
Oh yeah,
we have a picture of. Go ahead, you tell
it. That is a camouflage. I believe he said it was pop-up.
Hunting blind.
Hunting blind.
And Marvin's in Fayetteville, Marvin's Lumber Company donated it to the auction yesterday.
And those things will be auctioned off at the horseplay event
Yes.
September 19th. Do you have any other items you'd like to mention?
We have a pontoon boat rental for a day
good.
that will hold 10 people. Whoever
is
wins
that on
the
Tim's
bid.
Ford, maybe?
I think y'all got that. I'm not
Is
sure.
it through Twin Creeks?
Twin Creeks Marina.
Oh,
they
okay.
donated last year, and they are going to donate as long
Any
as
of
they
you out
can.
there, if you have anything you'd like to donate, maybe you've got a saddle sitting in your garage that nobody's using, it would be a wonderful time to donate for the auction or other items. They don't have to be horse related, but items that might interest people.
Any crafter, if you have a craft that you want to donate something to the auction for, we are taking crafts as well. I've got some animals at the house that a lady made that she's donated.
That's wonderful.
She's donating
Little
pumpkins
animals.
as soon as she gets through with them.
Amanda, what's your favorite thing about all this?
I'm excited to see the turnout. I know we have a lot of auction items. Last year, the best part was watching everyone on the dance floor.
Oh, good.
They enjoyed the music, and everybody really got into it. We had a gentleman that showed up, and he was able to show us
How to dance.
with the music, how to do different line dances, different two-steps, and
We almost
really some
always
lost
have a couple
arts.
of people that come that will help with dancing and encourage people to be a
Yes.
part of this wonderful organization. And we've got
We
to go.
have two more things we're selling. We're selling mums.
Oh yeah!
Oh, my
mums
goodness.
For $15.
$15 a piece, and we're taking special orders for Swing and Sway T-shirts.
Okay,
And
and
you-
that's you. Amanda
Yes.
has on one of the T-shirts.
this is our session shirt, but it's very similar. You can definitely check us out on Facebook. We have all of our events on there. We have a lot of different items you can look at. So more than welcome to reach out to us there.
We have to go.
Can I say one more thing?
One more thing.
We are going to do our luncheon October the 9th at Top Rehab on North Jackson Street, but it will be curbside takeout. We will bring the meal out to your car.
And so we'll have you back and
it
talk
will-
about that again. Right now, we've got to move on to our next event. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
I'm
Peggy.
always ready to support horseplay. You're doing wonderful things. We'll be back.
My great-grandfather started it in 1900, and now it's 2020, which is 120 years. We still measure your feet, still try to help you find a good fit. We're just a good old-fashioned shoe store where we'll measure your feet, make sure you're in the right size, and help you find a comfortable shoe for men, women, and children.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
Ah, the glory days. Running to daylight on the gridiron and chasing a ball with a mind of its own. Cheering the team to victory and marching to the beat of your own drum. Memories that last a lifetime. But sometimes we're reminded of our glory days in ways we'd rather forget. Get back in the game.
The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live and play well.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
Hello everyone, I'm John Rickman. And I'm Pat Welch, and we are here today, John, with the 57th segment of the Discussions with John and Pat. Wow. We're going to talk about Robert Osteen.
Okay.
And of course, he went to Forest School,
where I went, and but he was from
So
Chile.
what year would he have graduated?
1950.
Okay.
And I was 65, so there was a 15-year difference between us two.
Yeah.
And, but we both lived in Marshall County, and this little song about swapping knives on the courthouse square in Marshall County. Well, I was bumming around in Lewisburg, getting kind of hot and tired. So I took the seat beneath the big shade tree in the Marshall County Courthouse yard. There was men standing round over halls, their pockets filled with merchandise. They was chewing tobacco, whittling cedar, telling jokes and swapping knives. Well, an old man walked up to me, a carving on a piece of wood, saying, "Hey, young feller, how you trade on knives?" And the one he had looked good. Well, I looked it over and I gave it back. He said, "Hold on, son, I got more." He pulled out a sack filled with knives. He looked like a walking store. Here's what he said: "What do you give me for a tree brand Boker with a tree on every blade? Here's a John D. Primble, a genuine Barlow, and I ain't a kissing crane. Here's a double X case and an old hen rooster, a queen and an old time charade. I make no money on my knives, I just like trade." Well, I reached down into my blue jeans and I pulled out my old knife. I figured that it wasn't worth too much, I'd carried it half my life. But when he offered me a brand new knife for my old piece of blade, I thought to myself, "You old fool, yes sir, it's a deal I'll trade." Well, the old man kind of chuckled as he walked away from me. He didn't have nothing to laugh about as far as I could see. When I saw a fella give him $100 for that old knife of mine, I recollected every word in that old knife swapper's line. That's what he said again. "What do you give me for a tree brand Boker with a tree on every blade? Here's a John D. Primble and a genuine Barlow, and I ain't a kissing crane. Here's a double X case and an old hen rooster, a queen and old time charade. I make no money on my knives, I just like to trade." You old liar. Oh, May. I have deer.
He probably didn't beat you as bad as your uncle did on that guitar, though, did he?
No, that's right. Uncle Johnny got me on that guitar. But Robert Osteen, let's see, he was at Tullahoma. He was assistant
was
coach in
Tullahoma the
football.
first? Was that his first job?
I think he went to Lynchburg.
Okay.
I think he was at Lynchburg.
Because he helped Coach Cooper in the mid-'60s.
Then he came, the Tommy Whitaker,
and he was a baseball coach, too.
were assistant coaches.
Yeah.
And Dub Cooper was the head coach. And then Mr. Osteen.
He went to Franklin County in about 66 or
went
67.
to Franklin County,
like
and
that.
he was over there with Moose Bolin.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got a job at South Junior High as the principal. And I remember Mr. Osteen, he'd always say funny things. He said, "Somebody told me, why are you quitting coaching your football? There's a lot of prestige to that." Mr. Osteen said, "Well, you can't eat prestige." He always had something clever to say.
I believe he did his master's work with emphasis on middle schools.
He did.
Which was just coming
Because
into
Jim Burns, the people back at that time, the school board and all, were aiming
He's superintendent
toward,
at Tullahoma.
That's right, toward the reorganizing the schools. So
Right.
we went from a junior high, which I was part of for sure, and then in 1976, 77, somewhere in that era, that we changed to the middle school concept. It was right in the middle of the year. Some of the kids went on to the some kids went to the high school and missed their ninth grade year at Easton. So it was interesting. But
I may have student taught John the last year, or the year before, rather, before they made the change. The last
well,
year.
you were in the new building.
No, I was in the old one.
You were in the old building?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh. Well, the old building was certainly old. It was
a good old school built in 27 or 28. It's the
That's
first
right.
public high school in Tullahoma.
But let's show a picture of Mr. Osteen, if you would, Philip. That's not a very good picture, and it's due to the poor quality of camera on my cell phone, which is not really a very good cell phone.
We've pleaded with him to upgrade his phone, and there's one of the reasons why we've been trying to plead with him.
Well, one of these days I'll get me something else, but this one hadn't broke yet, Pat.
That's right, I understand.
Waiting for it.
That's right.
But Mr. Osteen was our principal, and you have something to say. Benny Garrett filled you in.
Well, we said that we probably need to go back. He went from South to Tullahoma and to the East Middle School because he was kind of a hot item.
Yeah.
It was really in vogue, middle schools, and he had this extra work towards his master's with emphasis on middle schools, and so Tullahoma hired him away from Franklin County. So he came back, and he served the rest of his professional career at East Middle School and was John's principal. And John's right. We've talked about Coach Osteen a couple times here, but I ran into Benny Garrick on the golf course not long ago, and he pointed to his golf cart like, "Sit in my office. I need something to share with you." and so I want to relay that in there. When he left Chapel Hill, which would have been, I guess, coming up this school year 50-51, somebody, and he was going to go to Middle Tennessee and play football, and somebody in town told him, said, "You'll never let her." And said it just set his eyes steely, and he made up his mind he was going to let her. And he ended up lettering 4 times in football, 3 in wrestling, and 4 in baseball. And that's pretty incredible there. And he said that he didn't wrestle his senior year, and I'm assuming that he was a really good baseball player, and he had maybe an idea that if he had a really good baseball year that he possibly might get a minor league contract. But I guess he decided that he'd rather teach and coach and started doing that. But on top of that, now he got 11 varsity letters at MTSU. His senior year at Forest, they blocked 10 punts, which had been an incredible amount of punts blocked for 1 year for a high school. And of those 10, Coach Osteen personally blocked 7 of them.
Yeah,
that's we've talked about it before. He was really short, but really strong and really quick and tough.
I think Mr. Osteen had an innate sense of how to get to the ball carrier. I say this for this reason. When I played high school football, every man just held his ground. We didn't stunt. And stunting is one man going this way and the other one going that way and confusing the offensive blocking. Well, we just stood our ground, and sometimes we got knocked, backwards, which is not what you want to get done. But anyway, we just stood our ground, and there was a few games that our coach changed up and we did a little different. But I remember my brother playing under a fellow who'd come from MTSU. His name was Ron Martin, and he said, "Johnny," or he calls me Bubba, he says, "we're running plays on defense." Plays on defense? I'd never heard of such, And so they do that regularly now. It's all the time, everywhere you go. But Mr. Osteen and some of his lineman friends, they would decide to do this stunning on their own. Maybe the coach told them what they might do from time to time, but they did stunning to a certain degree while he was in high school.
I think I've said on here before too that I saw a MTSU annual when he was either sophomore or junior, and of course his picture was in each one of those sports. And in the wrestling picture, they had knickers on with nothing from the waist up, and he looked like an absolute Greek mythology god or something. I mean, if I was him, in the classroom, I'd taken a picture of that and put it up there at front, and nobody.
Don't tread on me.
Nobody would have thought about not saying anything without raising his hand first and ask, "Mr. Osteen, could I now speak?" He was a very imposing figure, even though he's only 5'6", 5'7", something like that.
And we got to say that a little tragedy in the Osteen family here recently. Mr. Osteen died at age 70. And that's several years ago, maybe 15 years ago, a long time ago. But his wife, Carolyn, his widow, Carolyn, just passed away the other day. And, of course, Mr. Osteen had sons, Daryl, Dwayne, and Dwight. Yeah. And all those boys have done well. None of them missed a day of school in their entire career. They probably went sick a lot of time, but Mr. Osteen didn't let them. They had chores, they cut yards. Mr. Osteen had them. They were just like a little scout troop.
It's like being. We've talked about. Is it Pottsville where he was raised? What's the name?
Caney Springs.
Caney Springs, and John's taken me over there in some adventures into Marshall County, and you can't do anything there besides use it as a rock crawler. You've never seen so many rocks, and they farm that. You know, they could have made a living with that being tough.
Mr. Osteen tells me about, he would trap animals when he was young, go down to the produce house in Chapel Hill and sell the fur. And he hunted. He told me one time he got a bad case of rabbit fever. Skinning a rabbit, I guess, and having a cut on his hand and maybe letting himself be infected. But he was a great guy. Everybody loved Mr. Osteen, and he was Dub Cooper, the one that he was the head coach. He was the man that kept an even keel about himself, and Tommy Whitaker's kind of similar. Mr. Osteen was that fiery person that the football team needs. They need somebody a little bit wild.
He was Coach Cooper's Tasmanian Devil, really. Probably.
Tasmanian Devil, that's good. Yeah. But it's been good talking about Robert K. Osteen.
Coach Osteen.
There he is
with one of his classes.
Yes, sir.
Again, the quality of the picture we want to. John won't. I'll apologize for him for having an antiquated phone, and
one of these days you'll see better pictures. And you'll know I've updated.
That's right.
But anyway, it's been good being here with you, and if management will allow, Pat.
That's it. This wraps up segment 57, but there's more stories, as John says, if management will allow them. Thank you all.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
Hi, I'm Cindy.
And I'm Jacob. I'm the Rooster.
And I'm the Red Maid. And we would like to welcome you to
Roosterware.
Yes, Roosterware is a cottage industry producing accessories for men, women, children, babies, and pets. All items are hand cut and sewn locally. Roosterware specializes in bow ties, pocket squares, scarves, cufflinks, neckties, and aprons of all sizes for all ages. Baby products include onesies, diaper covers, bibs, and burp pads. All bow ties, tied yourself or pre-tied, come with an adjustable neckband. All products can be made with a material of your choice, as special orders are available upon request. Don't be standing back looking at fashion. Create your own with Roosterware.
Come visit us at
roosterandredmaiden.com
to find our handcrafted designs for
the cock of the walk.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Since the moment you were born, I've made 1,000 wishes. Wishes for your future in a world that's changing fast. Do play and laugh. Do win and lose. Do it all with confidence, kindness, and strength. And always do your best to remember that no matter what you do in this life, what matters to me is that you keep doing.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, folks, we're back, and I'm just happy. The reason I'm smiling is I'm sitting here off camera talking with my friend Lyle from Parks and Rec, and it always pleases me when he comes because he's a bright shining star in our town as far as I'm concerned. The man is a quick wit, a lot of fun. He's full of energy. He's full of education, good ideas, great things to do. Lyle Russell. How you doing, buddy?
Man, I don't know if I can live up to that billing.
You
Jeez.
better.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Hey, I've thrown it out there.
Oh, it's always great to be here. Thanks for
you've done the first part of it. No matter how smart you are, no matter what you know, no matter who you are, how educated you are, unless you show up, it doesn't make any difference.
That's true.
And Lyle always shows up.
I try to. I try to. I'm
And
maybe late,
then
but I'll
you
be
can
there.
spread. Then you can spread that. You can throw that chicken feed out, man.
Yeah.
What's
Well,
going?
It's funny that you bring that up because that's one of the things that, on that same line that I wanted to come talk about today. You know, with obviously COVID-19 being the hot topic of any TV show or newscast that you turn on right now.
Everywhere.
It's been very difficult for us at Parks and Rec. You know, we're used to we're in the people business, so you know we like having people in the center and doing our programs and exercise classes and swimming and all that. And we've had to limit that, and I realize it's difficult on the public to not have access to those all the time, but it's been even more difficult on us to not be able to offer it. So we're trying to slowly work some things back in as the restrictions get lifted. And so one of the things that I have noticed, not necessarily during COVID-19, but in general, is there's a lack of natural curiosity. There's a lot of people out there that will just walk by something and not even care what it is. And so what I've started doing just for fun is on our Facebook page, I've started doing what I call the Tullahoma Parks and Rec Daily Dose of Nature. And so I go out walking a lot. I do probably about 10 to 15 miles a week around my neighborhood in different places, on the Greenway, pretty much anywhere where I can get an open sidewalk. And so when I find something interesting, I'll stop and take pictures of it, and then I'll do some research on it, and then I'll try and do an educational type post. And I got a comment, a private comment from somebody who got one of these. I found a really cool moth. It's a giant silk moth. And I got a comment back from her, and she said, "We love these posts that you do because right now we're homeschooling our kids, or not homeschooling necessarily, but the kids are learning from home. And there is a lot that they get out of the classrooms and things that they do through the schools, but there's those extra enrichment items that they're struggling to find. And so they've been using these posts and these things that I've been finding." And I was flattered, of course. I mean, that I love that somebody is actually finding these things useful and is doing something with them. So that motivates me to go out and find things to try and help develop that natural curiosity, especially in kids. You know, I want them to walk by, this plant and say, "Oh, what kind of tree is that?" Or "What makes it turn yellow?" Yeah. That's the kind of stuff I love to see that. And I'm not an educator by trade, but I love to see people looking at things with...
But you're an educator by nature.
Yeah, I mean, I like to... I feel like you can
are.
always learn something in any situation or any place that you go. So don't ever walk into a place thinking, "Oh, I already know it all." You can learn anything in any situation. And so I always try to make it an opportunity for somebody to learn something when I have the chance to do that.
Teaching moment. Yes,
teaching moments. That's a great word for it. And also on that same vein, got to go visit the May Prairie over in Manchester. That was actually last night. Beautiful place. I'd never been there before. Loaded with wildflowers. And so doing these guided hikes in this time of everybody being homebound is what we're trying to do. So I've got 2 hikes coming up. The first one is actually this Saturday. It's going to be a little bit rugged though. We're going to do Buggy Top Cave out in Swanee. It's going to be about 5 miles, a little bit rugged. But the bad thing is we have to limit it. So that's what I came on to talk about today, is that if anybody's interested in going to see Buggy Top Cave and learning the history of that area up there in South Cumberland State Park, we're doing a ranger guided hike this Saturday. But it requires a sign up through me before you can sign up for it. So if you're interested in going on that hike, give me a call at the community center. I'll tell you all the details and get you the link to get on there and sign up. And then we got Randy Hedgepath, the state naturalist, is coming down on September 13th. It's a Sunday morning, which I know some folks go to church and other folks they use the Church of the Woods.
There you go.
So we're going to do the Church of the Woods that morning. We're going to do the Adams Falls Trail out at Short Springs, and he's going to go along, point out everything we can find that's cool to see out there at Short Springs. Randy knows about it. He's and that's a little bit limited too. We're doing personal signups with me. So give us a call at the community center, 455-1121.
Right.
And I will get you hooked up with all the information.
Right. You know, and it's tough. People are trying to find things to do, and like you say, their kids are home, and just because you are educated does not make you an educator.
That is true.
And some parents are really struggling.
Yeah.
With the fact that it's my responsibility to make a lesson plan and get the. Plus, I'm working a job where it's my responsibility to make a lesson plan and do not a lesson plan, but for whoever you might be laying out the day for.
Right.
If you're in management. And it's a difficult thing. So what you're doing has got to be a great help.
Well, I like
for
to
these
think
people.
so. And like I said, the message I got from that mom, that made my day. And when you get a message like that, where you see the fruits of something that you're doing almost instantly being used, it hit me right in the feels. It really did. So.
And I have a picture somewhere of a lunar moth.
Mm-hmm.
They show up around here every now and then, and they're that beautiful. There's a color of green that they are, that is not an avocado. It's like an iridescent sort of avocado color.
It's not. You can't even call it lime green. It's it's a really different green.
They're beautiful.
Yeah.
And things like that have always been interesting to me.
Oh yeah, and they're huge too. So that's one of the posts actually. Is on my walk, I found an injured one.
Yeah.
And doing some research on them, they're a favorite food of bats. They fly at night, and they fly in that funky, floppy pattern to throw off the bat sonar. So that's one of their defense mechanisms. This one wasn't so lucky. A wing was missing. But, when I found it, it was flailing around in the grass. And so, I knew what it was. I picked it up, got some pictures of it. Sadly, there's nothing could be done for her. Her wing was gone.
Right.
So I walked her over to a shade tree, set her on the shade tree, up on the bark, and then continued on my walk. So about 3 days later, every couple 3 days is when I get to go out and get the time to go for a walk. And I walk back by that tree. The moth had expired. She was dead by that time. Very much alive when I found her. But it was in the same spot that I left her. And so I had to think, here was this bug that I found flailing around in the grass. Just that little, not trying to blow myself up or anything, but that little bit of kindness to move that moth out of the hot sun. It was injured. It was obviously going to die. They only live about a week to 10 days anyway. But moved it over to the tree, and it sat in that exact same spot and died right there.
In the shade?
In the shade. Never moved. But when I found it, this thing is flopping around like a fish.
No longer agonizing.
Yeah, it's no longer agonizing. But just those kind of moments, that's special to me, and that's the kind of stuff that I want to instill, not necessarily even young people, just in any people. Have that natural curiosity to get out there and explore. Tullahoma has got a huge amount of diversity in wildlife, botanical areas, trees. You name it. This spot right here has got a lot of it.
Coyotes.
Yes, we have the other kind of stuff too. Birds, that's all part of the
God's
natural cycle.
Too.
But if I had a wish, I would wish that people would develop and follow up on those natural curiosities about things. That show, How It's Made.
Right.
Oh, I could watch that all day. And I wish other people would. I wish that they would really look at things and want to learn how that works or what makes it go.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I do.
Life according to Lyle. Yeah. That's what we'll call your segment. The good life according, all life according to Lyle. But I've been trying to talk Lyle into doing a segment like you're doing that he can send in to us, and we can have it on our show a weekly, 5-6 minute deal from Lyle, because I'm not blowing you up. I'm not trying to blow you up. I've been very impressed.
I don't need any help in that department.
That's called pandemic pounds.
I'm eating my way to that.
But no, I've always found Lyle to be a very interesting man and very intuitive and very bright, and everything he says makes sense and is beneficial, and I want you to work on that. We really want you to be part of what we're doing here.
I appreciate it.
And anything you come up with will be good. So I'm putting the pressure on him right now. All of y'all know, if you see Lyle, when everything opens back up, and you know, a lot of our viewers are people who use your facilities.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because your facilities are used by young who are splashing and shooting, and older who are trying to maintain, and the middle age group is they're trying to get their life lived. You know, they're taking kids and hauling and dancing, and they ain't got time to participate in anything but the life of their children.
That's a busy demographic.
It's a busy demographic, and so the people who are watching what we do are your people.
Yeah,
and we want you to have another access to them through us. So
yeah, well, I appreciate that.
I'm putting the pressure on you.
And that said, too, you know, that's something we've always tried to get the word out about Parks and Recreation, is that we're not just a indoor pool where people come swim laps. We're not just a basketball court for kids to come shoot hoops. You know, we offer all of these other programs aside from the standard things that we have in the center. We have meeting rooms, facilities, things that can be used, of course, when COVID is not stopping us or restricting us.
But the lunch and learn deal. I mean, if you're looking for something to do, and you're retired and you're going, man, I wonder what I'm going to do today. You know, you need to be zoned into this lunch and learn program that Lyle has, because it will be anything from a songwriter to a rocket scientist to how to hybrid a piece of corn. You know, there's no telling what it's liable to be, but it's an educational learning experience, a lunch and learn.
Right, yeah, I mean, the formula.
Learn is in there.
Yeah, well, the formula we try to use for that is we try to find a topic of general public interest that, you know, we don't necessarily want folks coming in and promoting a private business, but if it's a topic of general public interest that is educational, informational, anything like that, I'll always hear a pitch from a speaker. So if there's speakers out there that if you have a topic that you're an expert on, I'd love to hear from you. I'm always looking for speakers to come in and do those programs. So.
And make sure Lyle didn't get here to see the carving being done at South Jackson, so make sure you go by.
Yeah, I'm going to go by and take a look at that. I've driven by it, but I haven't stopped to look close.
Yeah.
So,
Lyle Russell, my friend, I'm just glad he comes. We're going to take a ball and chain him to the set here, because we want him to be part of what we're doing. Lyle, thanks, buddy.
Always a pleasure.
Appreciate
Thanks for
you, my
having me.
friend.
Thank you.
We'll be back after these messages.
This is the face of a fighter.
I'm fighting to keep Tennesseans working.
I'm fighting for time with my friends.
I'm fighting for football on Saturday.
I'm fighting to see my students back in the classroom.
We're fighting for our small business.
I'm fighting to keep my family safe.
Whatever you're fighting for, it's time for all Tennesseans to fight back. Until there's a vaccine for COVID-19, this is the face of a fighter. Face it, masks fight COVID-19.
Partners for Healing provides medical care to the working uninsured of Coffee, Franklin, and Moore counties. We are in Tullahoma from 8 to 5, Monday through Thursdays, and in Manchester on Fridays from 8 to 12. We provide primary medical care and offer an in-house disease management program.
My name is Rosie Mitchell, and I would just like to say I am blessed to have partners in my life.
Please call 455-5014 for more information. Thank you for being one of our Partners for Healing.
Hello, this is Janie Price. When my husband Ray Price would tour across the country, his favorite place to dine was Cracker Barrel Old Country Store locations. His favorite thing to order was the Uncle Herschel.
And the beauty of it all is forever, you'll be holding me to.
I miss Ray dearly, and I'm so proud that his last album, Beauty Is the Final Sessions, is available at his favorite restaurant.
A love affair to remember.
The project includes a duet with Martina McBride and harmony vocals from Vince Gill. Ray believed this to be the best recording he had ever made.
Oh, I wish I was 18 again.
I think you'll agree when you pick up your copy of Beauty Is the Final Sessions at a Cracker Barrel Old Country Store location near you or at crackerbarrel.com.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, folks, last week, a gentleman named Randy Santil, who is a professional eater, came into town because Daddy Billy's Food Challenge, the Big Daddy Badonkadonk burger, 5.5 pounds of food is the food challenge there. It's like a $45, $50 meal. If you eat it inside 30 minutes, it's free. Well, that's what Randy Santil does. He travels the country and the world taking on food challenges, and he was at Daddy Billy's, and we got some video.
Thank you, thank you.
That is one big plate full of food right there. There have been 15 people try to eat it and complete it, and nobody has yet. Daddy Billy's challenge is undefeated right now. But I have a feeling that tonight the challenger is going to take her down. And he just said he thinks he can take it down in 15 minutes. He has 30 minutes to do
Yesterday I did
We'll
8
see.
deluxe milkshakes. We are at Daddy Billy's in Tullahoma, Tennessee, taking on their Big Daddy. It's undefeated. So we've got 8-inch pepperoni pizzas from Spinelli Pizzeria next door, 4 chicken tacos, 3 tacos, 4 beef patties, all kinds of stuff. But gonna get started now. We got 2 beers. This is a Yingling, and that is a Old Shed SPA, Southern Baptist Southern Pale Ale. SPA. 1, 2, 3. All right, tacos first with healthy grilled chicken. Alright, this thing's got tacos, pizzas, chicken tenders, it has it all. But let's finish pizza number 1 from Spinelli's Pizzeria. Chicken tenders are awesome. 3 minutes in, it's going down. I've got a Yingling here because we're in Tennessee, so I'm going to enjoy that. And then this one's a local one. We'll have that at the end.
I mean, this cat can eat. He's eating lettuce, he's eating chicken fingers, 1 pizza, 4 tacos, and he's working his way down to the hamburger patties.
Go, Randy!
2 more pizzas to go. This is over 5 pounds of food.
It's 5.5 minutes in. I don't know how I forgot about this, but there's like a cup of peso on here too. It's amazing.
That's eating a hamburger patty like going after an ear of corn right there. He's taking care of this plate of food pretty good.
Okay.
That's an 8-ounce, half a pound of hamburger right there. Going down like, you know, like a potato chip. So he's probably halfway through and he's been 7, almost 8 minutes. So it's a 30-minute challenge. He still has 22 minutes left to go. Trying to do it in 15.
My body is not happy with the 2 gallons of ice cream I've had the past 2 days. Oh, I probably should have taken the day off. But, days off are for the week. Let's get it done.
Here comes pizza number 2.
John!
And then I have all these healthy vegetables to combat all that pepperoni on the pizza. But we are right at 9 minutes, 10 minutes now. So 20 minutes to go.
20 minutes to go, and I guarantee you he'll beat the challenge. I just wonder if he'll beat the 15. He's eating tomatoes and onions, and there's another pizza under there somewhere. Probably 2 more hamburger patties as well. So there's still quite a bit of food on the plate. But this is a big boy right here.
I should have been modest and said I was going for 20 minutes. Okay. Come on, baby. Time to see it. This bottom pizza is going to be rough.
There's another hamburger patty going down. This is the eating machine right here, folks. Randy Santel.
We're 13 minutes and 30 seconds in.
Go, Randy!
I'm getting old. There's no other way to it.
Come on. It's not an excuse.
Always an excuse.
All right, he's down to 1 more hamburger patty. I think he's working on that right now. That'll be the 4th one. So that's 2 pounds of hamburger right there. He's got a pizza left, some onion straws, some vegetables. Everything's doing good. This cat's gonna do this.
Come on, Randy.
Come on, Randy, you can do it. Almost there. Got it. Getting all the crumbs.
Yeah.
Down to his last bite.
Last bite of the base coat.
Come on.
Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the paint. Uh-oh. I just knocked a tree over. This is the paint doctor. I got the color wheel. Now, you know what a color wheel is? It is the wheel at the paint works where you pick all your colors to paint your room. It could be a multicolored beard. It could be a underarm fan. You never can tell. One thing we do know is that it's time to paint. You know, you can make your wife very happy if you go to your house and paint some rooms, or you paint the outside of the house, the inside of the house. It makes them feel very good because you work hard for them and they like that. All women like to see their man sweat. You know, they do. Honeydew is what they do. And you get to do it too. So you go to the paint works at 1960 North Washington Street and you see David Heikkinen over there, and he's the real paint doctor. He fix you up with color. It's so nice when the color is right. Go to Paintworks today. Martin Senor. See? Martin Senor. Right there. Martin Senor at the Paintworks. Bye, and we see you next time. I'm burning up.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, folks, we're back, and we're talking about how wonderful it is to laugh. Sometimes Peggy and I get to talking, and we get something under our skin. And you know what it's like to get tickled in church where you're not supposed to be tickled and you can't stop.
And you're not laughing at anybody. It's just some dumb thing.
And once you get started, you can't quit. And your mama, when you were little, would be pinching you, and you couldn't stop. Laughter is one of the most wonderful things that you can do is laugh. Smile. You know, it's so much.
That helps. So much better for your face.
Oh, yeah. It takes a whole lot more muscles to frown than it does to smile.
Well, it's just, somebody said to me one time, you know, if you do this all the time, your eyes are all squinched. See how much better you feel if you just open your eyes up.
Open your eyes up.
Right.
And smile. And smile. And we don't do that enough.
Smile, your heart is aching.
Smile
even though it's breaking.
Just as long as you're not undertaking, smile.
Smiling's good.
Smiling is great.
Laughing clinics, we ought to have them.
You know who makes me smile?
Who?
Kara Kemp.
Oh yeah, she makes me smile.
Kara Kemp
too.
makes me smile.
You know, she's coming to Tullahoma.
Is she?
To do a storytelling thing again.
Yeah,
in October.
You told me
I sent
that.
you a
I'm going to
note
be part
about
of that. You need to be part of that, folks. And you remember Jim Kemp, some of you. He was our science teacher at the high school, and then went on and taught at MTSU.
Yes,
and that's Kara's his daughter.
Yes.
One of his daughters.
One of his
children.
daughters. He has a nice family.
Is brilliantly talented.
She really is, and she's done a lot. She's even carried on her storytelling during this pandemic. She's been doing it virtually with people and entertaining. But we're going to have the real thing, a live storytelling
We always
event.
have the real thing, Peggy.
At South Jackson, October 17th, I
Something
think.
like that, yeah.
I'll bring it up.
And don't forget to drive by South Jackson.
That is the most
and look at the
phenomenal
statue
thing.
that Rourke is doing out front.
I love that.
Hopefully he'll be finished with it this week. And of course tonight, when you're watching this show, I will be at the Rocket Park over here, Rotary Rocket Park at Fraser McEwen. Mary Ann is going to. That was on last week. We'll be talking on women's suffrage.
Oh yeah.
And today is the day
Today is the day.
Of the 19th Amendment was signed.
In 1900.
It's 100 years ago, 1920.
1920, right.
So we'll have some of that on next week for you. And so just smile, folks. We love you. Come back to see us, because guess what? COVID or no COVID, we'll still be here.
We'll still be here.
Next time.